What's up guys, M97 here and welcome to the second part of this two-part tutorial. If you happen to have missed the first part of this tutorial or the original Blade Runner 2096 video, the links will be provided down below in the description. Moving on, the effect that we're going to be covering today is going to be the clothes changing effect that you see in like 2 or 3 shots of the entire video. Now to achieve this effect, unlike the VFX crew of Blade Runner 2049 which had a 3D model Joy, therefore they could just change the dresses, the hair without any problems, I on the other hand did not possess a 3D model of myself. So what did I do? Well, let's just say I set up my camera on a tripod. And then, depending on the number of outfits I want to have, that's the same amount of times that I would do the same action over and over again, trying to stay in the exact same spot, well, actually roughly in the same spot without shifting too much in position or rotation of my body. Therefore, I could sell the effect as best as possible. So what I do is change my clothes, do the action, change my clothes again, do the action, change my clothes again, and you get the idea. Now the trick to getting this effect sold is to actually involve some movement right at the point where you plan on switching the clothes from one pair to the other, because the viewer's eye is not going to be able to notice that cut at that specific point. Either way, there's not much else to say other than that, just jump right in After Effects and go technical. Okay, so here we are now in After Effects, and I've already gone ahead and set up the footage, chopped it up properly, just to save you the headache of having to watch me go through the entire footage and setting it up. So here we are now, Bill Clinton shirt. This is the first part of the footage. Then we got the second part, which is me without a t-shirt. This is the third outfit, and then the fourth outfit, which is the final one. What we're gonna do is pretty simple. Just overlay these clips on top of each other. Maybe make them go on and off at certain points, just to give it more variation. Also, maybe fade them in by 2 or 3 frames, just to make the transition a bit smoother. So let's go ahead and zoom in now. Maybe go to the point where I just make the like a marker or something at the point where we want the transition to happen. So maybe like at this point where I start raising my left hand here. By the way, I set the quality to quarter because of the speed. So about right there, let's go ahead and set a marker by hitting the star key. Go back to the second footage, which is kind of like there, and then hold down Alt and open bracket. Bring this over here, and then basically fade this in. Of course, you can see it's kind of like my legs are jumping way too much. So what we can do is actually bring it over here. Even though the hand is jumping way too much, what we're gonna do is actually fade these in way too quick, like 3 of these footages at the same time. So let's bring it over here, hit T to bring up the opacity, bring it down to 0, and then move forward 2 frames, bring it up to 100, move back 1 frame, then bring this clip over, and then find the right timing again. Let's see. Alt, open bracket, bring it over, hit T for the opacity, set a keyframe, move forward 2 frames, bring it up to 100, move back 1 frame again, find the timing for the final outfit. So maybe right there, and then bring it over, hit T for opacity, do the same thing again, and move forward 2 frames, bring it to 100, and there you go. Now, let's just give that a quick preview. Might turn out to be not so good looking, but still we can manage it. Okay, so right away, it's not really that bad. I mean, it's not as cool as the original one, but what I did was just let this go forward for about 2 frames and then switch back to this first effect, this first outfit. So let's duplicate that, Control D, bring this on top. And now, since we've lined up the timing, we don't have to actually move anything anymore. Just bring it on top and then just Alt, open bracket, maybe fade this in by 2 frames. So let's say the first frame is 50% opacity, move forward 1 frame, bring it up to 100%. So it just jumps like that. It's not really noticeable. Let's bring back second outfit. So let's Control D, bring it on top, retrim this, bring the opacity, just uncheck the stopwatch, check it again. Bring it to 50%, move forward 1 frame, bring it to 100, bring back basically the final outfit. So let's do that. This one, so duplicate it, bring it on top, trim it over, hit T, bring the opacity to 50%, move forward by 2 frames, and just bring it to 100. So let's just preview that. Once again, you can hit the 0 key on the keyboard. So just to preview it. So you pretty much get the idea. It's a pretty simple effect. Of course, I did play around with the timing a lot more just to get it as close and as perfect as possible. Also, one thing I did in the final shot is I actually removed these 2 strings from my clothes for like 3 or 4 frames and then just made them pop up. And the way you can do that is by either saving this frame and then this frame and this frame, so like the next 4 frames, as a JPEG or whatever, and then bring it into Photoshop and paint them out using the Roto Brush tool, or you could just do it in After Effects. So let's go ahead and duplicate this frame. Actually duplicate this first frame, so we're gonna have the first 4 frames. Let's bring the footage at 100% just so we can see it clearly, and let's Control All and click on the arrows just to close those. Double click on this footage. You have the footage opened up as a layer now. So what we're gonna do is click on this clone stamp tool, and then by holding the middle mouse scroll button, you can move around, pan around, scroll wheel, of course, to zoom in and out. And then you got the options on the right hand side here. The brushes, the opacity. So hold Alt and right click somewhere. So you can click here, you get this as a sample, and then just keep painting until everything is just not visible anymore. So keep clicking. This is actually the zipper, so we don't want to clean that up. You might want to actually get samples from different areas because, you know, as you can see, it's kind of like a bit more gray over on this side. So you want to get a sample from that, because if you get a sample from here and paint here, it's actually going to be really noticeable. So you don't want that. Control Z to undo. And there you go. That's 1 frame cleaned up. Then we can go ahead and just duplicate this 3 more times, and we're done. Okay, so I went ahead and painted out the strings for 3 frames using the same technique as I showed you in the first frame. So you can see if we zoom in, we have 3 frames split up, and on each of those we have a clone stamp paintbrush effect applied, as you can see down here. And then after that, the original shot just moves on. Of course, you can go ahead and mess around with the timing or add as much detail as you want, as much transitioning as you want, you know, going back and forth between the clothes. Just make sure that the timing and the way you shoot it is actually done properly, so that when you get to doing the editing or the transitioning in After Effects, you don't have to worry about anything other than just lining the clips up, and you get the effect just like that. Okay, so I wanted to give you a quick walkthrough for this shot as well, just because I kind of did things a bit different on this one, other than the fact that I just faded in myself with a second t-shirt, with a Bill Clinton t-shirt in the end. Also, I cleaned up this Bill Clinton head for like 2 or 3 frames, just to flicker it out, just to add more detail to the effect. Other than that, in the beginning, when you see the colors of the shirt changing, it's not me changing the shirt at all. It's just me masking out this shirt and then adding a hue or saturation effect, and just shifting the colors around. So just a quick walkthrough of how I did it. Right click, new adjustment layer, and we're gonna find a spot where I look at my shirt right here. And then what I did was just zoom in, let's go to full, and then start masking around the shirt. And then you can go ahead and click F on the layer, maybe add some feathering, something like 3%. After that, what you can do is click MM to bring up the mask path. Actually, just click M once, click on the stopwatch, and then go through 2 frames and just adjust the points so that it animates properly. And just keep in mind, you might want to have the shirt changing for at least 3 or 4 frames, because if you're shooting 25 frames per second and you only have 1 frame of shifting the color of the t-shirt, it's just gonna flicker way too fast and the effect is not going to be noticeable. So keep that in mind. Let me just show you real quick how to change the color. Select the layer, go to Effect, Color Correction, and Hue or Saturation, or install the Video Copilot. What was the name called? Effects console. So Control Space, Hue and Saturation, hit Enter, and that's a much more faster way to do things. Let's delete that. Basically just click on Colorize and just start shifting the hue. Of course, I've set the quality full, so you can control the saturation, the lightness as well. Maybe make it a bit darker, and then just shift the hue. You got a cyan shirt all of a sudden. So this is basically what I did for like 3 or 4 times. And I remember I also added some triangles, the MB Corporation logo for like 2 or 3 frames as well. Just keep in mind, what differentiates a pro VFX shot from an amateur VFX shot is the fact that a pro VFX artist takes the time to put in those details and make the shot look much more personal, as opposed to the amateur guy who just tries to get the effect done as quick as possible without worrying about adding any detail at all. So that's pretty much it for this effect. Okay guys, that was it for the second part of this tutorial as well. Thank you for watching and being patient all the way through. If you happen to have any questions or tutorial suggestions, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below in the comment section. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, make sure to share it with other people as well. If you are interested in any of my social media links, you can find them down below in the description. Other than that, thank you once again, and I will see you next time. Peace out!